Czechoslovakia is about to have her silver jubilee. My countrymen had to wait 300 years before they could free themselves from the Habsburg yoke and regain their liberty and independence. When the day of liberation came, 25 years ago, my countrymen were ready to give a good account of themselves. We began great social reforms. We broke up the large estates. We insisted upon religious freedom. We built a firm educational ladder from the village school to the university. The poor man's son, we said, should have his chance to reach the highest positions in our democratic state. We sought the friendship of all our neighbors. We had good relations both with the Soviet Union and the Western powers. We made up our minds, no matter what the cost might be, to have a first-class army and a first-class air force. We were ready at all times to play our part as good Europeans. We were, I think, always recognized as good Europeans by those countries which were free. But our most powerful neighbor was Nazi Germany. Hitler hated Czechoslovakia because she was democratic. He hated me. We stood in his way, the way of his mastery of Central Europe first and of all Europe afterwards. He cared nothing for any of us, not even for our German-speaking citizens. They were merely the excuse for his attacks upon us. Hitler took our country by treachery and guile. After 20 years of freedom, we were once again enslaved. That is a state which we absolutely refuse to accept. From the moment that the Nazis entered Prague, we have been at war with them. This war will go on until the last German soldier has been driven out of Czechoslovakia.
What?
I wish I could tell you the full story of our war effort. Our soldiers have fought in France, the Middle East, Poland, and the Soviet Union. The only non-Russian to be made a hero of the Soviet Union was a dead Czechoslovak soldier. Our airmen took part in the Battle of Britain, and not a few have lost their lives in ceaseless raids over Nazi-occupied Europe. Only a few weeks ago, it was my privilege to meet Czechoslovak soldiers who arrived in this country after keen fighting in Tobruk and in the desert. They were still wearing desert kit, and they were all anxious to hear of church bells, no music in the streets.
Oh,
but believe me, Prague...
what?
Gestapo agents, I suppose, will do their best to see that there is no outward rejoicing in Prague on our Silver Jubilee Day. The Nazis want no flag waving, no ringing of church bells, no music in the streets. But believe me, Prague will be jubilant at heart. The axis is broken. The legion of German might belongs to the past. The day of liberation is once again in sight. We shall do our best to make our country even more democratic than it was in the past, and we shall never forget what we owe to all our British friends who have given us in this great country such a kind hospitality in one of the darkest hours of our national history.